Hi friends! My name's Jordan and you're watching Criminal Crafting.
Trying to find some balance in my life. I never really put up a fight.
Thank you all for coming to my channel. If you are new here, make sure that you subscribe so you can be notified every time that I post a new video. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. It means the world to me. Here on Criminal Crafting, we talk about all things true crime, court cases, missing persons, you name it, we talk about it. Originally, this channel was for talking about crime as we crafted. But as we've gone along, we've realized that we needed to make a second channel for our crafting and do purely crafting on one channel and crime on another channel. So if you're interested in watching our crafting videos, our tutorials, all that kind of stuff, we do have a small crafting business where we make craft kits. We also take custom orders. We do laser cut wood crafts, acrylic crafts. So if you're interested in that, we will have down in the description our website so you can go shop those craft kits. But we also have a new YouTube page called Geo and Dan Designs. So I will put that down in the description box below so that you can go follow that if you want to. Let's get into today's case. We covered about last week Doug Live, who is a YouTuber who was attacked by another YouTuber and ended up in the hospital, in the ICU, and you guys, it was such a sad situation. But I wanted to do a little update video on Doug and let you know how he's doing, and also talk about the additional charges that have come about for Jason Sternquist, who is the YouTuber that attacked him. To give a little bit of a backstory, Doug Live is one of the sweetest YouTubers you will ever watch. He is such a kind man. He is hilarious. I love watching his videos because he cracks me up. He also brings his girlfriend and sometimes his daughters, and he calls them the Giggle Girls, and they just sit in the car and giggle and banter back and forth with him, and it's seriously the cutest thing in the whole entire world. But Doug was stalked and attacked by this other YouTuber named Jason Sternquist, and everything that happened ended up Doug in the ICU, and he just went through a surgery yesterday. So I wanted to read the official police report from Jason, and then I also wanted to read a message that was sent from Doug to everybody to kind of give an update on things, which I thought it was a beautiful message that he sent to everybody. So here is, in the police's words, what happened that day. And I will put it up here so that you can see it as well, but I wanted to be able to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So, on Saturday, June 26th, 2022, at 9:56 p.m., Northport police officers were dispatched to, and that's blanked out, Northport, Florida, in reference to a battery. The caller advised that there was a physical altercation and CPR was in process on the victim. The caller also advised that the defendant had left the scene. Once officers arrived on scene, they made contact with a blank, which I assume they were saying they made contact with Doug, who was not breathing, who did not have a heartbeat, to herein be referred to as victim. Blank was lying on his back and not breathing. Officers started CPR and Northport Fire Rescue arrived on scene moments later and started life-saving measures. Northport police officers was able to obtain a pulse from the victim and transported him to Sarasota Memorial Hospital in Northport. The victim's residence had surveillance cameras on the exterior at each corner of the front of the residence. And I heard that, and this is alleged, but I heard that Doug had put up cameras because he had had run-ins with Jason Sternquist in the past, and so he installed cameras to make sure that his family was safe. I was able to view the camera footage which recorded the entire incident. The following is a description of what I was able to view on the footage. The victim's vehicle comes to a stop in the roadway in front of blank, Doug's residence. A dark in color vehicle comes to a stop in front of the victim's vehicle. What appears to be a heavy-set male victim exits the dark in color vehicle and approaches the victim's driver's side window. The subject is seen reaching into the victim's window, appears to strike the victim, and a physical altercation ensues. The victim then exits his vehicle and pushes the heavy-set male subject, who then pushes the victim back. At this point, you can see two females exit the residence and approach the victim and the heavy-set male subject. Both females separate the heavy-set male from the victim to prevent any further altercation. The victim can then be seen walking towards the residence and collapses in the front yard. The victim crawls on his hands and knees, gets back to his feet before collapsing again in the front yard closer to the front door of the residence. At this point, the heavy-set male gets into his vehicle and leaves the scene. You guys, even hearing that just is heartbreaking. For him to try to get to his home and collapse twice just breaks my heart for him. And he was very open about having a heart condition. He has a defibrillator. I spoke with the victims blank to herein be referred to as Witness 1, who was one of the females seen in the footage. Witness 1 provided me with a verbal recorded statement. The following is a synopsis of the recorded statement. Witness 1 advised that the victim arrived home from work and told her that a Jason blank, to herein be referred to as defendant, was driving around their neighborhood. Witness 1 stated that the defendant has been feuding with the victim through YouTube for the past few years. Witness 1 told me that the victim went outside the residence to make sure the defendant had left the area. Moments later, she stated that the victim called her on the phone and said that the defendant was outside. Witness 1 tells her daughter, blank, to herein be referred to as Witness 2, that the defendant was outside with the victim. Witness 1 stated that she and Witness 2 go outside and see the victim and defendant in a physical altercation. Witness 1 said that she and Witness 2 separate the defendant from the victim by pulling the defendant away. Witness 1 stated that the defendant left in his dark-colored GMC SUV. He ran away. She further stated that she noticed the victim on the ground, unconscious and not breathing. Witness 1 explained that she and Witness 2 start CPR on the victim and she called 911. You guys, that makes me so sad. To come out and see your loved one on the ground not breathing, I can't even imagine what they were going through in that situation. I spoke with witness 2, who stated that she was in her bedroom when witness 1 told her that the defendant was outside with the victim. Witness 2 stated that she and witness 1 go outside and separate the defendant from the victim. Witness 2 stated that the defendant left in his dark-colored GMC SUV. She further stated that she noticed the victim on the ground, unconscious and not breathing. Witness 2 explained that she started CPR on the victim, and witness 1 called 911. Witness 1 and witness 2 both positively identified the defendant based on prior contacts with him in person. Investigative means were utilized to find a home address for the defendant. I attempted to make contact at the listed addresses, but was unable to make contact with the defendant. According to both witness 1 and witness 2, the victim has a history of heart issues and has had a defibrillator implanted in his chest. They explained that the victim's heart condition may have contributed to the medical episode, which definitely would have. If you're in this physical altercation and your stress levels are through the roof, of course you're going to end up having heart issues. Where you already have heart issues, it's going to make the situation worse. The victim was unable to be interviewed due to him being unconscious and under the care of hospital staff. Based on the above information, probable cause exists to find the defendant in violation of the following Florida state statutes. Burglary, occupied convenience unarmed. The defendant did enter a conveyance owned by and in the possession of the victim. At the time of entering the conveyance, the defendant had the intent to commit a battery in that conveyance. Battery, touch or strike. The defendant actually and intentionally touched and struck the victim against his will. The defendant intentionally caused bodily harm to the victim. On June 26, 2022, Jason, to herein be referred to as defendant, voluntarily came to the Northport Police Department to be interviewed in reference to Northport Police Case blank. And I just want to preface this going into it. This was Jason voluntarily going in to talk about things that happened, and you guys, he admits to some pretty heinous things, some pretty sad things, and nobody deserves what Doug has gone through. Nobody, no matter what kind of person you are, you don't deserve this. During the interview, the defendant admitted that he drove to blank, Doug's house, herein be referred to as victim, house on the night of June 25th, 2022, in an effort to confront the victim about their ongoing YouTube dispute. The defendant admitted that he approached the victim's truck, leaned into the open driver's window, and then reached into the victim's truck and forcefully grabbed the victim's cell phone out of his hands. The defendant also confessed that he put the victim's phone into his pocket and tried to get into the victim's truck, but was unable to do so because the door was locked. The defendant went on to say that after the victim stepped out of his truck, they engaged in a mutual struggle until the two women pulled him off the victim. After the defendant saw the victim collapse to the ground, the defendant got into his car and drove off. You guys, how can you come to someone's home, reach into their car, take their cell phone, strike them, have an altercation with them, watch him collapse twice, not once, twice, stop breathing, and take off? I was able to corroborate the above confession by the defendant through video surveillance footage on the exterior of the victim's residence. So good on Doug for having cameras that he was able to catch the whole thing on camera. You guys, this is where it gets even more crazy. Not just the altercation and everything that happened with it, but this part is nuts. So be prepared. During the interview, the defendant also admitted to stalking the victim intermittently for the past 8 or 9 months. He described one episode in which he learned of the victim's location via a live YouTube video. And if you know Doug, you know that his videos are all lives, and he drives around the city and he'll listen to the police scanners and go to places where there's police action happening, or he drives by the laundry's house a lot when there's stuff that's going on with the laundry case. He'll drive by. He's gone to the courthouse where they went for the dismissal trial. So you can tell where he is because he's live when he's doing it. And then located and followed the victim's truck. The defendant described how he aggressively maneuvered through traffic at high speeds to catch up to the victim. Can you even imagine having someone maneuver through traffic aggressively and speed to catch up to you? My heart would be through the freaking roof. And I don't have heart problems. I can't even imagine how Doug was feeling to have someone stalk him and find where he was when he was doing his lives. Just breaks my heart for Doug. And then blew his horn repeatedly in an attempt to get the victim to pull over so he could accost him. What? He admitted this. That he stalked him and drove after him fast and was aggressive so that he could get him to pull over so he could accost him. What? The defendant related another episode in which he got out of his car and chased after the victim on foot after seeing the victim at a Burger King in Northport. The defendant also disclosed that his visit to the defendant's home on the night in question was not his first time at the victim's house, and that he had been at the victim's house months ago. In addition, the defendant revealed that his wife, blank, has been communicating with blank, the victim's girlfriend, via text message about these events and the ongoing months-long dispute between the victim and the defendant. And sorry if I laugh through this. I had a comment on one of my videos asking why I laughed so much during my first Doug video. I'm not laughing about the situation because the situation was a horrible and tragic situation that should not have happened. I laugh when I'm nervous and uncomfortable, or I laugh when I'm talking about Doug and the funny things he does, or I laugh when I think things are ridiculous, like what's going on right now, what I've been talking about right now about the things that Jason was doing to Doug. I just think it's ridiculous. So please excuse me for my laughter. It is not me being insensitive towards the topic because I truly, truly care about Doug. And the situation is an awful situation. The defendant also disclosed that he conducted extensive online research with regard to the victim and his personal information and additional research about the victim's mother, to include her home address and her personal business ventures. You guys, who does that? Why? Why would you do that? If your beef is with Doug, why do you need to look up his mom and all of her information? From what I've heard, and this is alleged, Jason was trying to expose Doug because Doug was incognito. Doug didn't show his face in his videos. If the man doesn't want people to see him, that's his choice. Don't go out him. It just made me mad. Based on the above information, probable cause exists to find the defendant in violation of the following Florida state statutes. Robbery by sudden snatching. The defendant did snatch the victim's cell phone out of the victim's hand during the altercation. The phone has a value of approximately $1,000. The taking with the intent to permanently or temporarily deprive the victim, who is the owner of the phone, of his right to the property. In the course of the taking, the victim was or became aware of the taking. Aggravated stalking. The defendant willfully, maliciously, and repeatedly followed, harassed, and cyberstalked the victim, and the defendant made a credible threat to the victim. The defendant followed the victim multiple times in traffic in an aggressive manner in attempt to force the victim to stop so he could confront him. He then met up with the victim at the victim's house, burglarized, robbed, and battered the victim. So he now has more charges brought against him. He has robbery by sudden snatching. He has aggravated stalking. From what I've heard through many people, and it's all alleged, there's some of these that will require a good amount of prison time. So I don't see him getting out without any prison time, which, you know, I kind of feel like he deserves in the situation. I don't feel like Doug deserved that. So let's go on to Doug. Doug, on Tuesday, had a heart surgery, and he was scheduled to have a heart surgery on Thursday, and they ended up not doing the surgery today. So he's awake, he's conscious, they're just waiting for him to heal enough to be able to have another surgery. So Doug's probably going to be in there for a while, is my assumption. So he's going to need all the help that he can get, all the prayers that he can get, any way that you can help. I put down below his PayPal, his daughter's Venmos. His daughters traveled from out of state, so missing work, travel money, all of those kinds of things are a lot of money for his daughters. So if you are feeling like you can donate, please go down in my description and find their Venmos and their PayPals. I do not collect any of the money myself. It all goes straight to Doug's PayPal and the girls' Venmo accounts. I wanted to read what Doug posted today. This was the first statement that Doug has made since everything happened, and it gives you a little insight to a bunch of the things that happened. Official message from Doug. A hello and love you update. He's just such a sweetheart, you guys. Official details that have been asked for by my fans. After a heart attack and dying, Mama G and Hannah screamed for help, and a couple heard them screaming and responded. CPR performed by Superhero, who was only known by Doug by a hello wave in the morning. Isn't that the sweetest thing ever? That he's going to be able to have a sweet bond with his neighbor who saved his life, who all he's ever done is waved hello in the morning to him. That just melted my heart. People are good. Then Northport Police and Northport Fire and Rescue arrived and performed life-saving efforts. Northport EMTs then took me to the Northport ER. Next was life flight with CPR to Sarasota Memorial Hospital in the Tampa General helicopter. I was intubated for life support to keep me alive for a week. You guys, that breaks my heart. I had no idea that he was intubated and in a coma for a week. Just makes me so incredibly sad that he had to go through that. Then to increase survival, they did therapeutic hypothermia to my body to intentionally lower the body's temperature to increase survival rate and brain function. I was in a coma for a few days, but was breathing with the machine. Once my normal, brain function returned, they were able to install a stent in the back of the heart. The other surgeries have been canceled for now, waiting for my body to recover. So like I said earlier, he was supposed to have a surgery today, and they postponed it because they want him to be able to recover and heal, and then I would assume they'll do the other surgeries that he needs. My internal defibrillator worked with 16 shocks. 16. That's insane. I was dead a total of 36 minutes. The EMTs also used the shock paddles 4 times. Over 20 IVs and blood drawn all day, every day, if you only knew. Fun, fun, fun. I might be all bruised up. I might have multiple broken ribs from CPR, which is very common with CPR. I'm in the medical field, and breaking ribs, you know you're doing CPR right when it breaks ribs, but it's not very fun to recover from. Broken ribs are incredibly painful. I might be in severe pain, and he did severe in all capital letters. Makes me so sad. I can't function yet, waiting for the main artery to heal. I might not be out of the woods, but I'm alive. 9 lives and counting. I still have a few left. You guys, what person can go through all of this and still crack jokes and be so positive? That's what I mean when I say he is an amazing person. The sweetest man. I'm so grateful that he's still alive and that he's still fighting for his life. I'm not grateful that he's fighting for his life, but I'm grateful that he's making the choice to fight for his life. Because there's a lot of people that at that point would just be done and not want to fight for their lives. And he's doing it. He's amazing. P.S. It has been 12 days since it happened, and Doug Live and Mama G still have no access to any of the 3 cell phones or accounts or emails. We are not ignoring anyone. We just can't get access yet. Thank you all so much. I have been told about the support and prayers, and you have all brought me to tears. It's gonna make me cry. And when you have broken ribs, the tears hurt. But thank you. I can't say any more about the situation, but I will be back. Love you all. You guys, how sweet was that? Oh, sorry, you totally make me cry. But he will be back, and I can't wait for him to be back. I will be right there, ready to watch his new video that he comes out with, and hopefully able to talk a little bit more about what went on. My heart just breaks for him. My heart breaks for his family. My heart breaks for his girlfriend. My heart breaks for him, who went through so much that he didn't have to go through. But I'm so glad that he is alive and working through all of this. And I hope that as he heals, he's able to get the surgeries that he needs. So you guys, he is going to have a long road ahead of him and a lot of medical bills. and anything that you can contribute, I think, would help him and his family a lot. So again, down in the description is Doug's PayPal and his 2 daughters' Venmo accounts. So if you would like to donate, please go down below and click on those links and donate straight to them. Another thing you can do to help is pray, of course. Send all the prayers and good vibes his direction and his family's direction. And also, go binge watch his videos. That's what I've been doing as well, because I feel so helpless. Like, I can make some videos on it. I don't make money off of my videos, or I would be donating everything that I made from my videos to it. But I did send a donation in. So I think binge watching his shows, even if you have his videos, even if you have to turn it on and let it play throughout the day, that's going to boost his YouTube channel and help him in the long run. Subscribe to his channel. He also has a $4.99 a month subscription that will help him as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know that I am praying hard for Doug and his family and hoping for the best. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get notified every time I post a new video. Make sure you like this video and make sure that you comment. I love interacting with you guys, so please comment so we can have conversations, but please remember to be nice in the comments. Be a Doug. That's what everybody says. In a world full of Karens, be a Doug. Because he is an example of a wonderful, kind person. I love you all. Thank you again for watching me. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.
Trying to find some balance in my life. I never really put up a fight. And now I'm losing sleep.